Hey up everybody, Magpie Gaming here, bringing you the PUBG weekly news. So to start off this week, I will direct you to a separate video that I did a few days ago. This was around the work in progress image that was shown for the new desert map, which is currently in the works for the game. So I'm not going to go too much into that on this video, but basically they've put this image out of the map, lots of buildings in it, lots of urban combat. And since putting that video on, a lot of people have made a good comment about that, is how much of that will actually be playable. I did say at the time that some of the buildings were 7 to 8 stories high, how much urban combat you would get out of buildings that size, but a lot of people have brought into question just how much of that will be able to be rendered on people's PCs. Obviously the more spaces that have to be rendered, the more taxing the map is going to be on your system. So yeah, valid point, how much of it will be playable, we just don't know. That's something we're going to have to wait for. I have since read that this map is many months away from completion yet, so it looks like it's going to be towards the back end of the year before we see this, maybe into next year, just don't know yet, it's all up in the air right now. Next up we had the Gamescom Invitational wrapping up. Now I watched about 15 minutes of this one night and I've got to say that it was pretty boring, to be honest. It was, I don't know, I understand why they did it. It was good to do, you know, to give some of the proceeds to charity. Some people won a lot of money from winning it. But the way that the people won it was really, really boring. People accrued a lot of points in the point system that they put on the game just for this setup, and basically the longer they lasted, the more points they got. The more kills that they got didn't really count towards the end points. It was something like 2,000 points for staying alive for so long versus just 5 points for killing somebody. So I watched Level Cap Gaming's video that he did on this. I suggest you go check it out if you want to know more about this. But basically there was like 35-40 minutes of action where you only saw one person dying, yet half the people on the map was killed. The cameraman that was doing it was obviously really struggling with it. There was a lot of action missed, and yeah, for most people the best way that they could stay alive was to just simply camp somewhere and do nothing, which doesn't really make for good watching for the viewer. So I think overall it was, of course PlayerUnknown have labelled it as a success, but I think they'd have to do a lot more for something like this to happen again and it be entertaining and draw people in. Obviously it's hard to do on an unfinished game. Camera angles and things like that certainly need to be sorted out. I think it got better towards the end as they learned how to get the best action from the game and show it to people, but I don't think it was the massive success that they'd hoped it would be. Next up we have microtransactions, and this argument isn't going away and it's not going to go away anytime soon. When you bring something like this into an early access game, it's always pulled up by people and it really does piss a lot of people off. Even when you put stuff like this in a complete finished released game, it annoys people. Like I've said in another video, it affects the game to however degree you want it to affect it. For me, it doesn't affect it at all. I don't care what the person I shoot at is wearing, because the crates are just purely cosmetic items. My M16 still fires the same bullets as that guy's M16, so it makes absolutely no difference to gameplay whatsoever. And I won't hear the argument from people that say that it does, because it doesn't. It doesn't change the gameplay at all. It changes the look of the gameplay, because obviously characters can be dressed in different clothing, but it doesn't change the gameplay. So these people that say that it does, what are you going on about? Because it just doesn't. But I do understand the argument of people that say this shouldn't be in the game, especially an early access one. But the other argument is you don't have to buy them. You don't have to use them to take part in the game. So, you know, it's 50-50 in both directions with this argument. You can go on about it all day, but you'll never get to a resolution that pleases everybody. But the pricing of some of the items is just unbelievable. At the time of re-recording this, I've looked on Steam and the miniskirt that you can win is still going for like £140. Seriously? Really? Now I'm not sure how many people are actually purchasing it this, but for it to keep its high price, obviously some people believe it's worth paying for. It's a crazy, crazy world we live in, it really is, but we have seen this. We've seen it with CSGO where skins were amazingly priced and were selling well, and like I say, you can take part in it or you can't. I just think it's a bit of fun, to be fair. If you manage to get an item in a game and you want to sell it to make a profit, then why not? And if somebody out there is stupid enough to buy it, then, you know, everyday people exploit other people's stupidity, so why should this computer game be any different? I just think it's a bit of fun. You know, if you want to sell that item and make some money, then fair enough. I mean, I had some stacks of items in my inventory, and I didn't think that they would be worth absolutely anything. You know, a pair of camo pants was worth 4p, and a beanie was worth 98p. But they sold, you know, I sold quite a few items, and I've got £3.70 something in my Steam wallet now. So, I mean, why not? You know, if somebody wants to buy it, then fair enough, go for it. But I think the biggest news of the week was that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has beaten Dota 2 in the concurrent players list on Steam, and it's beaten it by a healthy margin too. So it registered in with 876,849 concurrent players, which is absolutely massive. And this versus Dota 2 at 838,084. So it's doing amazingly well. It's a couple 100,000 above Counter-Strike Global Offensive, completely wrecking Grand Theft Auto Online. So yeah, it's doing amazingly well, and I would put some money on it, a reasonable amount, that I will be sat here again before the end of the year, definitely, telling you that it has beaten 10 million in sales and that it has reached over 1 million concurrent players on Steam. It's just heading in that direction, and I don't see it stopping at the moment. Now, I watched Jack Fragg's video about this last night whilst I was at work, and he makes some good points. Is this kind of growth within this game sustainable? And I guess really only time's going to tell on that one. We do have a new map coming soon, followed by another map. There are 2 in the works, but obviously they're concentrating on the desert map a lot more at the moment, so that will get things going. But I think to get to the numbers that they've got to on just one map, I think that's absolutely incredible. But as I've said before, and as a lot of players are now saying, this map's starting to get a little bit stale. It's starting to get a bit samey, getting a little bit bored of going to the same areas over and over again. So yeah, be nice to get that new map out, but this game is doing amazingly well. And the last bit of news that I've got for you today, and it's something that I've just been reading in the last couple of minutes, and that is about people idling within the game to accrue points. Something that's been done in a lot of games. It's happened through the ages with games, people logging in and just going instantly AFK, or using an automated process, naughty, to go AFK within a game. Now obviously the longer you last within a PUBG game, the more battle points you accrue within the game. So people are doing this, letting the plane drop them off at the ends of the earth, and just sitting there until the game's over. And obviously somebody will come along in the end and pop you out. That does happen. People go looking for these people to farm them. But a few people now, especially as a Twitter user, I don't remember his name, but he's done a video about it on YouTube. I will link to it in the description below if I can find it. And he's pointed out that you do see a lot of kills instantly within the game as soon as you go in it. So obviously somebody is staying alive and going and killing these people. I myself managed to kill an AFK person the other day. It's not something that I've ever set out to do, but the guy was just stood in the middle of the road, so I shot him. Why not? 3 points, you know. But it seems to be that it is becoming more of a problem, and it's going to have to be something that's looked at, I think. You know, will they leave it in the game? I don't know. Will they take it out? What could you do? If you don't jump out of the plane by a certain point, would you just get pushed into another lobby? That could be an idea, you know. A lot of the time people aren't AFK, they've just ran off to go to the toilet, or they've ran off to get a drink and they're late getting back. You know, I see it happening with the people I play with. There's always one of us that's late now and again. So I don't know with this one. It's an interesting topic. You know, you just not playing the game but you're still accruing points. Shouldn't really be the case, I don't think. So you could say that there would have to be movement within the player for them to accrue points, so the server recognises that you're moving, you're not AFK, and you will accrue the points, whereas if you stood still you don't get the points. But then somebody will just come out with some automated process that moves your character a little bit from side to side while you're not actually playing, so the server recognises it as movement and you get your points. So I really don't know on this subject, but let me know what you think about any of these subjects in the comments section below. As always, thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will catch you next week. Take care.